Live. Good morning, Glenn Lundy, Dan Cummins, Chevrolet and Buick here in Paris, Kentucky. And I got to tell you, Snackville, I got to tell you that if you are not currently disrupting your industry, if you're not being disruptive in the things that you're doing, you're missing the boat. We're in a disruptive era right now, and you've got to go out there and make an impact. I'm going to teach you all about it. Stick with us. Dan Cummins, Chevrolet and Buick. Good morning. Get out of here. First and foremost, let's thank Mr. Josh and Dusty Cummins for filling this room with the amazing aroma of some pancakes. Pancakes and syrup. We're going to kick this thing off, and it is going to be great. So, a little rainy outside. We love the rain around here at Dan Cummins, right? Seems like on rainy days, we're just busier and busier. I do have a soccer game to go to for my daughter later. She's going to freeze a little bit. But other than that, I'm very, very, very excited about this rain. I'm excited about this month. Good morning. How are you?
We're good.
Good. You want to come on in?
Yeah, sure.
Hop on in. But yeah, very excited about everything that's going on here at the dealership lately. You guys had a great day yesterday. We've had a great week. Been putting up a lot of big numbers. So I thank you guys for that. We're going to talk a little bit this morning about being disruptive in this industry and what that means. Let's make sure this does what it's supposed to do. And Paul stands by, okay? Where's Paul at?
Downstairs.
Oh, he's downstairs? That's not good. Okay, we need Paul to stand by. Okay, so, disruptive innovation, okay? So, what we're going to talk about today is just making some noise, the importance of making noise, some people in business that have made noise, and how we can get a little bit better at it, okay? So I want to start with this guy. Did anybody see this article this morning? Anybody see it? No? Yes? No? Okay. In case you missed it, all right, this is Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is now the richest man on the planet. Okay? He's worth a little over $90 billion as of this morning. Okay? 90 billion. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay? With a B. $90 billion. He made a little over $6 billion yesterday. Anybody get close to $6 billion yesterday? Mo? You're getting closer, right? Okay, so he made $6 billion yesterday. If you were watching, which I'm sure we all weren't because most of us missed that boat, but the Amazon stock went up 13% after they announced their third quarter quarterly earnings that were well above anticipated and expected. Okay, so this company that we all know and love, this company that has disrupted the way that we see retail and we see commerce, is still growing and thriving at numbers that people can't even anticipate. Okay? It's ridiculous. So this guy jumps up to the richest man in the world. Could you imagine waking up this morning and you're like, hey, I'm the richest man on the planet with $90 billion, okay? So I'm going to share a quick little video about my man, Mr. Bezos, and I still can't put video in PowerPoint, but I got it right here.
Jeff Bezos is one of the most successful technology tycoons in the world currently. He is the founder and CEO of Amazon.com, which is the largest retailer on the World Wide Web. The company has become a role model to every online retailer in the world, standing on the 5th spot on the Forbes list of billionaires of the world.
That was wild.
Jeff Bezos is simply unstoppable. Today, we talk about the success story of this innovative founder of Amazon.com. The company, which today has a market cap of over $295 billion, was started out of Jeff's garage 30 years back. The year was 1994, and Jeff was working diligently on Wall Street. At 30 years old, he began to see the internet revolution take place and made the decision to quit his job and start an internet company. The wake-up call was finding the startling statistic that web usage in the spring of 1994 was growing at 2,300% a year. After making a list of the top 20 products that he could potentially sell on the internet, he decided on books because of their low cost and universal demand. It turns out it was just the beginning of a bright and an illustrious future. The initial startup capital came from his parents' personal savings. They invested a large fraction of their life savings in what became Amazon.com. After getting immense amount of traction from the customers, Amazon raised a Series A funding of $8 million in 1995. In 1997, Amazon went public to raise additional capital. Within 2 months after the funding, Amazon sales were up to $20,000 a week. However, the company has continued to plow their revenue back into the growth, with profit remaining nearly $0 or below, and revenue just kept rising. Post the success of Amazon.com, Jeff Bezos expanded his business to several other verticals, and many other products were added to Amazon.com through retail joint ventures. Growing from strength to strength, Amazon.com launched the Kindle, which is a digital book with multiple features. Later, he launched Amazon Web Services, which is now the envy of all tech giant companies. Jeff's visionary abilities to take big risks have fetched him an enviable position today. Amazon Web Services will remain unchallenged in the near future. Now, what started as a small venture in Jeff's garage is now a symbol of internet sale. He may rightly be called a pioneer in e-commerce, and Amazon.com, which derives its name from South American river Amazon, completely justifies the stature of the company. Jeff Bezos is not just a businessman, but he's a true leader and an inspiration for many young entrepreneurs across the world.
Okay. Pretty cool, right? All right. Anybody notice anything about that guy right there? And about his company, his business, and all that. Anybody notice anything?
Profit goes right back into it.
That was a big deal. Profit went back into it, which is awesome. He didn't frickin' invent anything. He didn't create anything new. He saw the internet and thought, oh, people are going to use this. And then he took books that other people wrote. He didn't write a single book. He put them together and he started selling them. Now he's the richest man on the planet. Creative, right? Disruptive. Just a different way of thinking. Took two things that already existed, put them together, and created what he has now. We were in Las Vegas recently, and out there they have like the drone storage warehouse Amazon thing. You guys heard about that? They got like a blimp in the sky full of products, and you go onto your phone, and this is real. You go onto your phone and you order a freaking toothbrush or whatever the heck you want, and they ship it down via drone within 4 hours. Okay? This is real. They have it in all the major cities, like not all, but in a lot of major cities right now. And it's kind of like Uber, which is another incredible company that didn't buy anything. They just created a better way for people to use their cars. But you can track like the drone, you can see it on your phone, you know when it's dropping off your package, you pick it up and it flies back off. It's incredible. Incredible. Okay? Richest man on the planet. Now let's look at another guy that's been disruptive. Anybody ever seen this guy? Anybody in here know Grant Cardone? You should by now. I know some of our new hires don't apparently. Right? Sam was kind of upset about that yesterday. All right, so I apologize to my new hires that don't know Grant Cardone. You need to know Grant Cardone. But Mr. Cardone is another person that disrupted the industry. If you're not following him right now, you need to jump on there and follow him. He's doing something now that I've never seen anybody do, and it's incredible, the feedback and stuff that he's getting. So, before we get into that, let me show you this little video that you guys might like, because this is some old school grain. You guys are used to seeing new school grain.
I came from Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm definitely not some born superstar with some different skill set of other people. Because I couldn't do anything else. I mean, they were offering $1,400 a month. I couldn't live on it. Even out of college, I couldn't pay my, the debt out of the government. And an uncle said, you should get in sales. You can create tremendous amounts of income if you know what you're doing. No, it was terrible. I hated sales, hated what they were asking me to do, so I suffered like a lot of salespeople did. I found myself in an unemployment situation where it was 24% unemployment. People weren't buying things, people weren't hiring. It was a very, very difficult environment where I lived at the time. I started learning from other people what not to do and what to do. I believe actually I can change the conditions of any company through increasing sales. In any environment, any economy, the economy that we're in is not the problem. The inability to sell your products and services would be the problem. It's very, very important for me to show people that they can have anything they want. Well, certainly. Oh, I know. It has nothing to do with the money. Yeah, that's hilarious. This was written for me.
Dave.
You want to give it to somebody?
Oh, yeah.
This is the only way I think of
The second from your dad.
it. Those are cool fellows in the kids' books. You're on it right now. Come here. Right there. There's literally 8 corners. You don't know when you're there.
Hey, do you know why you're reading all of these?
You guys like the porn music? I thought that was awesome. Doesn't it sound like porn music? I mean, come on, Grant. It's funny. Grant Cardone's like 4.5 feet tall. I swear those Great Danes were taller than he was. So, Grant, salesman, right? Sold cars for a little while. Was in the industry. Selling, didn't really like it, didn't like the situation he was in, didn't like the way he was being treated, didn't think there was a whole lot of training. So what did he do? He said, well, heck, there's tons of car salespeople out there. There's tons of people in this industry that just need a little help. They just need a little training. I'll create my own little platform, and I'll just teach everybody how to do something I wasn't even very good at to begin with. Now the guy's worth $500 million. Okay? $500 million. So he was on a show with Hank Norman the other day. Hank Norman's the guy that created the show The View. He created the Oxygen Network, so on and so forth. So he was on a show with Hank, and they were talking about, Grant was like, man, I still can't get into like mainstream. I want to be a household name. How can I disrupt things a little bit more? And so him and Hank talked about it a little bit. Hank's like, dude, you got to face your fear. You got to face your biggest fear. Grant's like, what are you talking about? I'm not afraid of nothing. He's like, yeah, you are, dude. You're afraid to run for office. You need to run for governor of Florida. And Grant, like, you should have seen his eyes. Grant was like, dude, they will tear me to shreds if I go into politics. Tear him to shreds, which they probably would, right? He's always flashing all this money and all this stuff. He's a little different, but who knows? So he might do that, but instead, he ended up going with this campaign right here. He's giving $1 million away. He started a week ago. He took $1 million cash, brought it to his house, set it on the counter, and told people, thank you for buying my books, thank you for buying my products, thank you for buying my training platform. I'm now giving $1 million away over the next 6 weeks, and every night for the last 4 or 5 days now, and he'll continue to do it through the end of the year, he just goes on there, and if you tag his name, or you put a post, or you just say something that Grant Cardone did for you, he might grab your name and give you some money. Last night, I think he gave away $36,000 in a 1-hour live stream. The night before, he gave away like $17,000 in a 1-hour live stream. Now, do any of us that know Grant Cardone think that Grant Cardone is just being generous and kind? No, dude. He's breaking into mainstream media. He's trying to become a household name. Everyone's tagging all their friends. They're sharing all of his posts. He's got this money. He's giving stuff away. He's giving away 1,000 here, 5,000 here. He'll spend $1 million, but what he would have had to spend in advertising to get in front of that many people would have been 20 times that. It's brilliant. Brilliant what he's doing right now. Okay? Another guy that's disrupting the way we think, disrupting the industry. You guys seen these guys before? Or have you heard of Airbnb? Who uses Airbnb? Anybody in here? I use it. I use it all the time, especially with my big family, okay? Airbnb, HomeAway, companies like that, they allow you to rent other people's houses for a couple nights. Wherever you go, you can just pop them up and you can stay there. Big family like mine, lots of kids, hotel rooms, not fun, okay? Doesn't work. I need bedrooms with locks where I can put them in there and they can go away, okay? That's what I need. So whenever we go somewhere, we just go ahead and hop on Airbnb. We find a house. It's nice. It's cozy. We use it. Let me show you a little story on these guys.
Before Airbnb was a billion-dollar success, the company's founders Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia were funded through what they call the Visa Round. This is, as they describe, is being $40,000 in debt and collecting credit cards as though they were football cards. The event that marked the turning point in the business was the 2008 Democratic National Convention, the DNC. The pair saw an opportunity to capitalize on the over-attended event that caused a massive shortage in rental housing. The DNC bump was great for business, but it only lasted a week. The founders were desperate for a way to extend the impact of the event. While sitting around their kitchen table one day, still extremely broke, they came up with the idea that would bring Airbnb to profitability: cereal. Both designers, who graduated from the prestigious Rhode Island School of Design, the pair created fictitious cereals called Obama O's The Cereal of Change and Captain McCain's A Maverick in Every Box. They designed the box artwork themselves and convinced a student at UC Berkeley to print 500 units of each box on the cheap. The boxes were delivered as flat rectangles that had to be cut and assembled by hand. I was thinking at the time that Mark Zuckerberg was never hot gluing anything at Facebook, so maybe this is not a good idea, recalls Chesky. The founders sent boxes to hundreds of the most well-known tech bloggers, hoping that they would proudly display them on their desks and that they or their colleagues would eventually write their story. Shortly thereafter, they started selling the political cereal at $40 per box. The Obama O's sold like hotcakes, so much that they had to give out Captain McCain's for free with every purchase. In the end, the pair remarkably sold more than $30,000 worth of themed cereal, pulling themselves entirely out of the debt accumulated through the Visa Round. Chesky had to convince his mum at the time that he was still in the short-term rental business and not running a cereal startup. And it was this scheme that went some way in convincing Paul Graham to accept them onto the Y Combinator, the accelerator that propelled them into the stratosphere. After an uninspired pitch to Graham, the founders were leaving the room when Gebbia pulled out a box of Obama O's. The pair told Graham the story about how they had pulled themselves out of debt and kept their startup dream alive through selling cereal. "Wow, you guys are like cockroaches," Graham said. "You just won't die." Chesky realized later that was a compliment. Graham explained, "If you can convince people to pay $40 for a box of cereal, you can probably convince them to pay to sleep on each other's air mattresses. You guys are in."
Alright, did you guys see what they're worth now? Yeah. So, who would have thought selling boxes of cereal would be the way to create a $30 billion short-term home rental company? That's not the normal lineage you would think, right? Being a little disruptive, being creative, finding a way to disrupt the industry. I use it all the time, man. All the time. Absolutely love it. Alright? This guy right here, John Hinkson. You guys know him? We all know him. We're all sick of hearing about him. Probably. Most of us. Okay, John Hinkson was, did you guys see the auction? We had the auction the other day. John Hinkson was bidding on some tickets for Kentucky and Tennessee, right? So he's bidding on these Kentucky and Tennessee tickets. He wins the Kentucky and Tennessee tickets, and what did he do? Anybody see? Went online live and gave them away. His intentions the whole time when he was bidding on the Kentucky and Tennessee tickets were not to go to the Kentucky-Tennessee game. He wanted an opportunity where he could be a little disruptive, do something a little bit different, reach out there and give the tickets away, which is exactly what he did. Okay, now this is the same guy that takes his customers out to dinner, the same guy that sold 501 cars in a year, and the same guy that none of us in this room have been able to catch the entire time he's been here, even though he's 50, how old is John? How old are you, John? 51 years old, and you young bucks can't catch him yet. He's doing something right. He's being disruptive. He now has an app. Has anybody seen John's app? Raise your hand if you've seen John's app. Okay, here's my suggestion. As a salesperson in a store with a guy that sells 500 cars, I'd go talk to him about his app. Just a suggestion. His door's wide open. Get in there. Talk to him about it. Figure out what he's doing. Figure out how he's doing this. You guys all have the same opportunity. You work in the same store with the same cars, with the same GM that stands up on his soapbox every Saturday. Everything's exactly the same. Get out there and learn from this guy. Another guy that's being incredibly disruptive right now is this guy right here, Nick Cox. And also maybe Jonathan Dawson a little bit. But Nick Cox is being incredibly disruptive. And I was going to hop into his Facebook page, but I'm running a little low on time. So I'm not going to hop onto his Facebook page. But if you guys look on his page, you'll notice something different than I've seen anywhere else, including even John. People are tagging Nick Cox in their posts. He's tagging them, every once in a while in his posts, but people are actually going on their pages and making a post about how much they love Nick and tagging Nick Cox in it. How strong is that? Completely opposite of what I ask you guys to do. Completely opposite of what the rest of us are in here doing. But how much more powerful is that? If I create a post and I tag you and I say, I'm the salesman, and I say, oh, I had a great time with Nick and I sold him a car and it's awesome, you're like, okay, that's cool. Nick bought a car. But if Nick writes a post and says, I was in there with the salesman Glenn and he was incredible and he was amazing and you all need to go buy cars there, how much more powerful is that? Incredible what Nick's been doing. He's only been here a few months. Obviously, he's disrupting things because he's on my radar and I see him all the time. I see him in my pages all the time. I see his stuff. He's doing everything that I've been trying to teach you guys to do. Posting stuff about his family, posting stuff about his cars. He's just being disruptive, and it's working. It's working. Okay. Josh and Dusty Cummings. Disruptive. Absolute disruptors. Take a company from their dad that was selling 120 cars a month 6 years ago. Now they're selling 900 cars a month, and they're doing it in a way that no one else does. This was Dusty's idea in the beginning. Let's sell cars for less than what we own them for, and we'll sell a lot and we'll make money. How's that sound? Does that sound like it makes sense? It really doesn't sound like it makes sense. If I would have known this was the plan, probably on day one, I might have ran down the street and tried to work somewhere else. But ultimately, he had this disruptive vision where he understood that if we could make hundreds of dollars off thousands of people, it'll come out the same as if we make thousands of dollars off hundreds of people, except for we can experience exponential growth because they'll all go out and tell all of their friends. Little different way of thinking, incredibly disruptive. Josh Cummins used to sit in here when his dad owned the store. He was the first person to ever start trying to sell cars online. He figured out the internet. He was back in the corner, had a little old computer, which probably none of you would recognize, any of my young people anyway. And he sat back there, and he got heckled, and he got battered, and he got beat, and his dad told him he was an idiot, and he was wasting his time, and all the other salespeople told him he was an idiot, and he was wasting his time trying to sell cars online. No one's ever going to do it. No one's going to buy cars online. It's stupid. You're wasting your time is what he was told, and he just kept plugging away back there. Now the guy's a freaking genius. I learned something last week that I did not know. Did you know that we are one of only 4 BDCs in Kentucky? We have one of 4. Out of every dealership in the state, there are 4 BDCs in Kentucky. That's how far behind our industry is. We are like we're just up on this like island almost, just out here by ourselves doing all these innovative things that we take for granted. We just think, oh, this is what everybody's doing, right? everybody's got their BDCs, and everybody's promoting online, and everybody's using their social media, and everybody's doing it. It's wrong, 100% wrong. 100%. I was shocked when I found out. Like, how do people still not have a BDC? It's 2017. Crazy. I don't know what the stats are across the nation, but I know they're similar. Okay, so these two guys right here, innovative, disruptive. They're giving back to the community. They're giving away cars. They're painting the front of their buildings pink. They're doing all kinds of stuff to stay ahead of the curve. Completely disruptive. All right. So here's my question. What are you going to do? How are you going to disrupt this industry that you are in? How are you going to do it? I can give you tips, I can give you tricks, I can show you ways that other people are doing it, but you got to figure out your own thing, man. You got to figure out what cereal boxes you got to sell to get to 30 billion. You guys each got to do that on your own. Here's a couple things to keep in mind while you process that, okay? In order to become a disruptor, you have to be innovative. Okay, you got to come up with something different. You can't just do same. I tell you guys this all the time, but I'm going to wear you out with it. You can't do same. Same equals death. Doesn't work, especially nowadays. Somebody else out there is going to eat your lunch. Okay? So, you can't be afraid when being innovative. If you notice, if you look at the Amazon guys and the Airbnb guys and the Josh and Dusty Cummins guys and Grant Cardone, no fear, right? They weren't afraid to make mistakes. They weren't afraid to fall down on their face. They weren't afraid to try to do something different. So you can't be afraid, okay? You got to find ways to add value. Amazon found a way to get me my products faster and smoother. They didn't create new products. They just found a better way. That added value to my life. My wife's life added a lot of value to my wife's life, okay? She knows the Amazon dude or the UPS dude by, first name basis. He's at my house every single day with an Amazon package. Every single day, okay? So start thinking about what you can do that's new, and then try, and try again. If you try something and it doesn't work, just keep going. Just keep trying. It's not always going to work the first time around. All right? You got to keep trying. Now, you have to be enthusiastic about whatever it is, however you're going to disrupt this industry. As you guys know, I'm very enthusiastic about the stuff that I do. I'm like telling you guys to share my posts, and I'm creating new stuff, and I'm trying to be disruptive and get out there and get in front of as many people as possible so I can drive them into Dan Cummins, right? And so I'm really enthusiastic about it, as you guys can tell and you know. You have to be enthusiastic about whatever it is you're doing. If you're not enthusiastic about putting up a post on Facebook or doing this, then find something else. I'm not saying you have to do it my way, or Amazon's way, or Airbnb's way. I'm saying whatever way it is, find something that you're passionate about and put it out there. Be enthusiastic about it. Okay? Energy breeds energy. The more excited you are, the more excited other people will be. You got to find ways to lift people up. You got to make them feel better. Okay? Your posts or whatever it is that you're doing, make people feel better. Lift them up. And of course, make lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of noise. Just be in front of them. Be in front of them. Be in front of them. Make noise. Make noise. Okay? You must be determined. You got to focus on the end game. Don't sweat the setbacks. I was watching another thing on the Amazon guy, Jeff Bezos, and he was saying the whole time all he could think about is just when he's 80 years old. That's all he thinks about. He thinks about what's the end game. Okay, so where do I want this company to be? What do I want it to look like when I'm 80 years old? What do I want my life to look like when I'm 80 years old? Because as long as he's focusing on the end game, when he has setbacks along the way, it doesn't bother him because he still knows where he's going to end up. Okay, a little setback here, no problem. I still got to end up here. So he's focusing on the end game. Know where you want to go. Have your goal set. Know where you want to be in the end, and refuse to allow anyone to stand in your way, including me. Okay? Don't let anyone get in your way. Do your thing. Don't let Dan Cummins tell Josh Cummins to quit messing with the internet. Because imagine if Josh would have put it down. None of us would be in this room right now. We'd be one of those dealers that doesn't have a BDC. We'd still be selling 120 cars a month. We'd have lawn tables and lawn chairs in the showroom, which is what it looked like when I got here. Okay? And half of us would be probably, I don't know, dishing up tacos or something at Taco Bell. Who knows? Okay? But we have these opportunities because one guy didn't let anybody stand in the way. He saw the end game. He still does. Josh is making moves. Exciting things. Okay? He's thinking way ahead. And of course, you always have to think about your customer in your process. Whatever you're trying to do, however you're trying to disrupt, always think about the people on the other end. Okay? You got to make sure that you're putting their needs first. What kind of experience are they having, and how can you help them? That's the ultimate key. You have to be able to help them. Okay? So, lastly, most importantly, you must be yourself. You can't be Benzo. You can't be the Airbnb dude. You just can't. It's already done. Been there, done that. Can't do things the way I do it. Can't do it the way Nick Cox does it. Can't do it the way John does it. Can't do it the way Bill Hab does it, or any of these other guys that are disrupting. You can take tips from them. You can learn from them. You can do things, you can follow similar processes as them, but you got to be yourself. People love to buy from people. People connect with people. You got to be you. Okay? So, let's stay focused on our mission. Everybody stand up. What is our mission? Let's sing it out loud. I am on a mission to eradicate the negative stigmas associated with car business. I can do this by making people feel special, feel important, and feel like they're the only one. I will offer an experience that will exceed my customers' expectations today, tomorrow, and in the future. I will not just sell cars. I will create. Our spiff today, I believe, is every 2 cars you get a spin, right? And for BDC, every 4 cars sold gets a spin. Okay, we have, I think, 80 plus appointments right now. It's a little bit rainy out there, so people ain't got nothing else to do but come in here and buy cars. So let's give them an incredible experience. Let's have a big day, all right? Them pancakes in good, man? Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, Dane Cummins, Chevrolet and Buick. I highly suggest you get out there and start disrupting whatever industry you're in. Be yourself. Got to be yourself, but you got to figure out a way to do things different, add some value, and make a difference. If you're not making noise out there, I'm sorry, but you're gonna quietly slip away into oblivion. So work on making some noise. Work on being disruptive. You can do it. Have a great weekend. Hope you have a big day.